So my name is Jooste. I have the privilege of being the head of buying for menswear for the Retailability Group, which encompasses Edgars, obviously. I joined when Retailability took over Edgars. I came down from the old Edcon group to join them, and yeah, I've been here for just over 2 years. I've had a career that's close to 30 years in retail and supply in the industry. So at the forefront of every decision that we take is obviously the customer. So what do they actually require? What do they want from us? That we then align obviously to seasonality, to trends, to opportunities, to our past history of sales that we've picked up. And we then curate our ranges. We go through a process of range building in order to put in the correct merchandise. It would be beautiful to state how we sit in front of catwalks and do trend analysis and everything else. But however, there's a fortune of figure work that goes into the process of deciding. We dissect reports from all over the world from our past sales and basically build up what we would think the customer requires in our stores. So it's a very complex process that takes quite a few factors into account at all different times along the process. Ideally, in theory, it would be a linear process, 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, in the fashion industry, with the way things are changing, with the speed to market, with updates in production, updates in technology, we are having to deal with almost 3 seasons at once and adapt our strategies and what we put into stores constantly. So it's not really a nice linear process, but it all starts right at the beginning with our company strategy, where we'd like to position ourselves in the market. So we've got positioning statements that we put down into a diagram that we look at. We look at where we want to position ourselves in the market, where we position our customer profile. So we've got that for each one of our brands. We then look at a value equation to see who our competition are. And then from that, while we're doing that, we are still looking at trends. So we're looking at international retailers, international catwalk shows, reading documents and reports on seasons. I think the latest ones that have come out are talking about summer 25 already. So we're constantly taking all that into account. We benchmark ourselves obviously against certain brands and designers that really cater to our needs. And then the last final straw of that is we do a very in-depth analysis on the season that it just passed. So we do every quarter we'll analyze our business, look at that and see what trends have emerged from what data we can pull on our customer in our stores, what they are wanting, where do we see opportunities, and then we allow for about 5% of our budget is allowed for tests. So those are things that we think about in, we might think for summer 23, these are going to be big items, but we're not too confident on them. So we put a little test in place and then we react to those going forward. So that's basically how we get around it in a very simple way, but it is a lot more complicated and it takes a lot more people than just me to put it all together. So it's, we've post-COVID, we've seen a very big and a sudden increase in terms of dressing up as opposed to, COVID and the first year after lockdown was essentially like, what do they call, 2-mile wear, where you were happy to be seen in your pajamas 2 miles outside of your household. That's changed quite significantly. So that whole culture of exactly dressing up from the top has changed. There's a move away from relaxed dressing to more smart dressing. I'm sure if you well, most of our competition are seeing that as well. So everybody's now trying to react to that very quickly. And it seems to be that men are dressing up a lot more. There's a definite shift in terms, just talking about the bottoms, you know, from denim to more formal cotton trousers, because men have obviously decided that they want to look good, which hasn't necessarily been the case in the past, but they've become very, very succinct in what they need to look like in order to be both taken seriously and on a professional basis. So within the Edgars group, our age group is very, very diverse, because we run 5 private label brands in that, and then we run international brands as well. So we run a very diverse age group, all the way from 16 up until, you know, as old as you can be. You know, each brand caters to a specific customer. So our JX Strange and D66 brands run for a customer base of 16 to 25 years old. We've got Stone, Harbour and Signature, which are more moderate brands, which we run generally from 30 to 40 years of age. And then we run a brand called Swagger, which is one of our opening price point brand, and that also caters to a younger clientele of about 18 upwards. So that's how we determine that. And then obviously alongside that are all our international brands who appeal to everybody depending on your taste level, as opposed to an age group. In terms of introducing any new brands, we pretty much settled on our brand structure at this point in time. The unfortunate thing, or fortunate thing, with brands that you work very, very far in advance, because they're beholden to international policies and restraints. So you work very far ahead. So for summer 23, we won't be introducing really any new ones that will come on board. We are looking to do a few collabs with local designers, but that still has to be firmed up a little bit more. Hopefully we'll have that in store from August onwards, but we can't say much more around that at the moment. And then, you know, to talk about, they're not new brands, they've been in our store, but we really start to ramp them up from February onwards. There are some of the local brands like Edgars, Vertigo and Urban, which are locally homegrown brands that we are really putting a lot of effort into, and hopefully make those successful. They also cater to very specific customers with wide age groups.